Hello and welcome to another Figuarts review. Today we're looking at Street Fighter Sakura. Picked this up a while ago for only 150 Hong Kong dollars. That's pretty much like half price or maybe even less. There's not much in this box, but I do like her character. She just had an effect on me from Street Fighter 4, just how happy and enthusiastic she was. Pretty awesome. So I wonder how that translates to this figure. At first glance, Sakura here looks pretty good. She fits in very nicely with the other Street Fighter Figuarts. She's a little bit smaller than Ryu, but you know, the overall sculpting, the coloring, and everything just matches the whole slightly cartoony, slightly anime look of these characters. Starting from the head, the face sculpt is pretty awesome and very expressive on this shouting face. We'll look at the other faces momentarily. Pretty awesome, very expressive, so that's pretty good. Moving now, her school uniform is also painted quite nicely, and her neck joint is hidden quite well. These two pieces on the back are made of soft plastic and get out of the way from posing. Her sort of school uniform, like scarf, is also quite soft material, and of course so is the dress. There is a cut on the middle area of the dress right here to help with extra posing, but you know, they've left just enough space here so it doesn't, you know, split into two instantly. And yeah, she does have some coloring paint stuff down there. So yes, her punching gloves also quite good as well. The legs actually have some sort of skin tone shading on them. That's pretty good. And maybe a bit too red, but it could be due with the lighting here. But overall looks okay. And the shoes are quite detailed as well. Otherwise, apart from the fist already attached to the figure, she also has two spray open hands for her, you know, her little energy ball attack. And that means, yes, she doesn't come with any item holding hands at all, and it's actually quite a lot of space in this box here, a lot of empty space. She really could have done with those extra hands for any kind of item holding. That's annoying. She also comes with an energy blast right there and a stand to hold it up. The blast itself looks alright, I suppose. Yeah, it looks okay, and the stand is secure enough to hold it up. She also has two other expressions, her regular calm expression as well as a quite happy smile face. So I guess that's the face she gets when she sees Ryu, because she's a super big fan. The other Street Fighter characters, she also comes with her stage as a backing card. That's completely warped in the box. Yeah, because it's cardboard and it's just, ugh. This thing is put into like a little plastic baggie with the instruction sheets, and you know, you just do that, just unfold the backs out and just put it there. I suppose I can put this underneath a stack of dictionaries or something, and that should flatten it out, but yeah, this is something to expect with them. I suppose they really could have done with making these slightly smaller than the dimensions of the box that the figure comes in. That way it shouldn't warp like this, but these go right up to the edge of the box, like they're almost a bit too big for the box, so that can be annoying. And I guess I could cut the top just a little bit to make it better, but yeah, that's the thing. Articulation, she only has a single neck joint, but you still look quite far down and quite far up, sideways and sideways, so that's pretty good. Full rotation here. So yeah, they don't have a lower neck joint there, so there's no cutting there, which does make the figure look better. And the overall articulation that she does have is enough, I suppose. Arm articulation, got the joint inside the torso, so full rotation there. Slight rotation here, but it does cut up her uniform a little bit when she does that. Can look good. How far can arms go? No, only that far up. And okay. Elbow rotation here, so that's good. You can, you know, avoid that there if you want to. Single elbow joint, and it's on the peg and swivel, so a lot of articulation there. Stomach joint here. You can go really far back, forward, and sideways. There's double joints there, but for the most part, it's going to be the top joint that's moving. And they really extend her stomach up there, so it looks pretty good, and all articulations and directions. That's great. Does legs go down a bit? No. So leg goes up, back, legs go sideways, and hey, they've actually done that joint hiding technique with her, which I guess makes sense if they're expecting her to do a lot of kicks. Okay. And let's see, can you do, she can do, flat pose, almost, that's pretty cool. Leg goes forward, leg goes back. Can you do that? Yep, almost again, that's pretty good. Single knee joint there, the screws showing up. Let's see, rotation, she has upper foot rotation, that's cool. Shoes go in, shoes go back, and articulation here, that's big rotation. and toe joints. So she actually has extra articulation up here, which is really good for all the different fighting poses. That's great. So this whole gimmick with fighting bodies with the Street Fighter stuff and wrestling stuff is no joke. They're actually doing it. If you're a fan of Street Fighter, this is a pretty decent figure. I got her for super cheap, way cheaper than the original retail price. I'm quite happy with that. That's awesome. For the original price, maybe not so much. This figure is good, but I would not have picked her up at the original price just because, she's a smaller figure. She's not one of the main characters, and her accessory count is a little bit crap, to be honest. But overall, if you are a Street Fighter fan at this scale, this is still probably the best Sakura figure you can get. So yeah, and for those people who like schoolgirl characters, this is still pretty good. Despite Bandai not that great at releasing female characters, I guess Sakura is boyish enough for them not to mess up. Bandai just seems to have a problem with like anime female characters with model kits or Figuarts, so this has turned out quite great in comparison with all those other figures. Probably because she's not like got tiny feet and not, wearing heels and stuff. She actually has proper shoes and, for the most part, realistic proportions when talking about anime characters. So yeah, decent figure, not necessary, but if you can pick it up dirt cheap, great. So there you go, really not much going on in here, and I'm glad I paid the discount price for this, because if I paid the original price for this, I would have been pretty pissed off. Not a fan of just how bare bones this is. Look, honestly, the figure itself is pretty good. It just feels like there's not much in here, and I feel like there could have been more. And as always, one of the most important things in an action figure, I think it doesn't matter if the character actually uses it that much in the game, or in the movies, where they come from, but an item holding hand like this is really important, just so it can interact with more objects. And they really cheaped out on accessories here, which is probably why it's discounted heavily. If you already have some of the other Street Fighter Figuarts and you just really have to stick to this scale and you like this character, well, you're not going to get a better one. But if you're not necessarily sticking to this scale, there's also a bunch of NECA figures which are slightly bigger, and those do look quite decent. There's also a bunch of like knockoff versions just floating around out there on the internet, so you can probably get them for cheap, maybe. As for fighting fans, there's also Storm collectibles. Despite some of the downsides of the figures I've reviewed previously, they are going strong with a lot of fighting games. If you're a big fighting game fan, Storm collectibles has gone into Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, and they're also going into a lot of beat-em-up games, so if you're a fan of those genres, going into the Storm collectible figures might be better for you. But for people like me, who are already heavily invested in this scale with Figuarts and Figma, some other brand figures sometimes, this is okay with me, especially for the price I paid. Although Storm collectibles doesn't have a Sakura figure yet, so that's a bummer. With Bandai, their SH Figuarts line has slowed down considerably, but there's still a few figures coming out. Blanco's come out recently, and Vega, or in Japan, Bow Wow, the masked guy with the little claws, he's up for pre-orders. He also comes with a fence that you can actually climb up. That's pretty cool, but he is quite expensive, and I'm not that big of a fan enough to buy that many Street Fighter figures. So, but if that's a character you like, he's gonna come out, and I don't know if there's gonna be any more Figuarts Street Fighter after that. Maybe that's gonna be it. So this line is essentially dead. If you want to keep collecting more Street Fighter figures, the Storm collectible line again is going really strong with all the fighting games, so you probably want to stick with that instead. As always, you can support this channel clicking the thumbs up, leaving a comment below how you feel about this figure, any of the other Street Fighter Figuarts, or maybe Storm collectibles. You can also support this channel by turning off ad block, heading over to Patreon, that'd be nice. You can also check out the photos in Facebook, Tumblr, and all the other links in the video description below. As always, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.